That rumbling in your stomach is not that leftover meal you just ate for lunch. Your gut is trying to tell you something. Let's talk about what we mean by gut instincts. Your gut instincts are the feelings and reactions that you experience in your gut or your stomach area when you're faced with a decision or situation. It's often described as a gut feeling or a hunch. Now, the question is whether or not you should trust these gut instincts. After all, sometimes our instincts can be wrong, and other times they can be right on the money. So how do we know when to trust them? One important thing to consider is where your gut instincts are coming from. Are they based on past experiences or learned behaviors? Or are they based on something deeper, like intuition or instinctual reactions to a situation? If your gut instincts are based on past experiences or learned behaviors, it's important to consider whether those experiences or behaviors are still relevant to the current situation. Just because something worked in the past doesn't mean it will work again in the present. On the other hand, if your gut instincts are based on something deeper like intuition or instinctual reactions to a situation, it may be worth paying closer attention to them. These deeper instincts can sometimes provide insights or information that your conscious mind isn't aware of. Of course, even if your gut instincts are based on something deeper, it's still important to use critical thinking and analysis when making decisions. Gut instincts can be valuable, but they shouldn't be the only factor you consider. So, what should you do if you're not sure whether or not to trust your gut instincts? One strategy is to gather more information and data before making a decision. This can help you make a more informed choice and reduce the influence of gut instincts. In the end, the question of whether or not to trust your gut instincts is a complex one. It depends on a variety of factors, including where your instincts are coming from, the situation you're facing, and the information available to you. By using a combination of critical thinking, analysis, and intuition, you can make more informed decisions and trust your gut instincts when they're truly valuable. Critical thinking is a skill that can help you make better decisions, solve problems, and understand complex information. But how do you develop this skill? Here are some tips to help you think more critically. Ask questions. One of the most important aspects of critical thinking is asking questions. When you're faced with a problem or a decision, start by asking yourself questions like, what is the problem with me being on my phone too much? What are the possible solutions for limiting my screen time? And what are the potential consequences of each option? Critical thinking also involves evaluating evidence and sources of information. When you're presented with data or arguments, consider where the information is coming from, whether it's reliable, and what biases might be at play. In today's world, majority of the young men base their intentions off of social media. Do not choose this route. Do your own research and become credible in your own acquisitions. Control the media you are consuming. Another key element of critical thinking is considering different perspectives. This means looking at a problem or issue from multiple angles and trying to understand the various viewpoints involved. People always think that there are two sides to every story. This is incorrect. There is your side, the opposition side, and the truth. In that way, avoid jumping to conclusions. Critical thinking requires avoiding jumping to conclusions or making assumptions based on limited information. Instead, take the time to gather all the facts and consider all the options before making a decision. Practice, practice, practice. Finally, it's important to practice critical thinking regularly. Look for opportunities to apply these skills in your everyday life, whether it's at work, in your personal relationships, or even while watching the news. To develop your critical thinking skills, you can start by practicing these habits. Identify the problem or situation and break it down into smaller components. Consider what information you have, what information you need, and how you can gather more information. Evaluate evidence. Once you have gathered information, evaluate the evidence and consider the reliability of the sources. Look for any biases and assumptions that might be at play. Consider different perspectives. Consider different viewpoints and try to understand the reasoning behind each one. This can help you identify any biases or assumptions you might have. Brainstorm different solutions to the problem or situation. Consider the pros and cons of each option and evaluate them based on the information you have gathered. Make a decision. Finally, make a decision based on the information and analysis you have done. Be open to revising your decision if new information becomes available. When it comes to making decisions, there are two main approaches: analysis and intuition. Analysis involves using logic and reason to evaluate different options and make a decision based on facts and data. Intuition, on the other hand, relies on your gut feelings and instincts to guide your decision-making process. But which approach is better? The truth is, both analysis and intuition have their strengths, and the key to making the best decision is to use a combination of both. To grow into an intuitive individual, these steps must occur. Before you can make a decision, you need to have all the relevant information. Take the time to gather data, research the options, and consider the pros and cons of each choice. Once you have all the facts, it's time to analyze the information. Consider the reliability of the sources, any biases that might be present, and any potential consequences of each option. While analysis is important, it's also important to trust your intuition. If something doesn't feel right, or if you have a gut feeling about a certain option, take that into consideration. Your personal values and beliefs should also play a role in your decision-making process. Consider how each option aligns with your values and which choice feels most authentic to you. Sometimes it's helpful to take a break and come back to the decision later. This can give you time to process the information and allow your intuition to guide you. By using a combination of analysis and intuition, you can make the best decision for your unique situation. Remember, there is no one-size-fits-all approach to decision-making, and what works for one person might not work for another. Trust yourself and your instincts, but also take the time to gather all the relevant information and consider all the options before making a final choice. As a person in your 20s, you're likely facing some significant decisions that will impact your life for years to come. Whether it's choosing a career path, deciding whether to pursue further education, or making important financial decisions, it's essential to make informed choices that align with your values and goals. The choice could even be about pursuing a love interest. Here are some tips to help you make informed decisions in your 20s. Define your values and goals. Before making any significant decisions, take the time to define your values and goals. This will help you make choices that align with your priorities and lead to a more fulfilling life. Making informed decisions requires gathering as much information as possible. This might mean doing research, talking to experts, or seeking out the advice of trusted friends or family members. Consider the long-term impact. When making decisions, it's easy to focus on the short-term benefits or drawbacks, but it's important to consider the long-term impact of your choices, particularly when it comes to career and financial decisions. Every decision comes with risks and benefits. It's important to evaluate these carefully and weigh them against your values and goals before making a choice. Don't be afraid to seek advice from trusted friends, family members, or mentors. Their perspective can provide valuable insights and help you make more informed decisions. Trust yourself. Ultimately, the most important factor in making informed decisions is trusting yourself. Trust your instincts and believe in your ability to make the right choice for yourself. Have you ever had a great idea only to have it shot down by others or fail to gain traction? It can be disheartening when our decisions or thoughts are not well received or don't lead to the desired outcomes. But how do we know when our decisions or thoughts are truly valuable? One of the best ways to evaluate the value of your decisions or thoughts is to seek feedback from others. This can be from colleagues, friends, or family members who can provide constructive criticism and help you refine your ideas. Look at your past decisions and evaluate how well they have worked out. If you have a track record of making good decisions or coming up with successful ideas, then it's likely that your current decisions and thoughts are also valuable. If you have a strong gut feeling about a decision or idea, it's worth considering. Your intuition can be a powerful tool in evaluating the value of your decisions and thoughts. The context in which you are making the decision or sharing your thoughts can also impact their value. Consider the current situation, the audience you are presenting to, and any other relevant factors that might influence how your decisions or thoughts are perceived. Finally, the ultimate test of the value of your decisions or thoughts is the results they produce. If your decision or idea leads to positive outcomes, then it's likely that it was valuable. Evaluating the value of our decisions and thoughts can be a challenging task, but by seeking feedback, considering our track record, trusting our intuition, evaluating the context, and evaluating the results, we can get a better sense of whether our decisions or thoughts are truly valuable. Remember, not every decision or idea will be successful, but by using these tips, you can increase your chances of making valuable decisions and sharing valuable thoughts. Trusting yourself can be a challenging task, but it's an essential part of living a fulfilling and authentic life. When we trust ourselves, we can make decisions that align with our values, pursue our passions, and live life on our own terms. So, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on your own life. Are there areas where you feel like you're not trusting yourself enough? Maybe you're holding back from pursuing a dream or making a big decision because you're not sure if you're capable or worthy. But here's the truth. You are capable and worthy. You have everything you need within you to achieve your goals and live the life you want. It may not be easy, and there may be challenges along the way, but with trust in yourself, anything is possible. So, I challenge you to start trusting yourself today. Take that first step towards your dream, make that decision that you've been putting off, and know that you have everything you need to succeed within you. Remember, life is too short to play it safe and stay within our comfort zones. Trusting yourself can open up a world of possibilities and lead to a life of fulfillment and happiness. So go out there, trust yourself, and make the most of every moment. This has been your finest hour. Make every hour count.